So, man works and he's rewarded. Man works in a spiritual sense and he's rewarded. The work we do is limited, has borders, and the reward is limitless, endless, because God is endless. God is infinite. The reward that God gives to Israel for their work, it's not defined or limited. He's giving from himself, may he be blessed. God is infinite. He's without end. He has no borders. He has no end. He goes on forever. And then, of course, his reward is also going to be without limit. In this way, Hashem, may be blessed, he sometimes shows us that the connection that he has with Israel is above any kind of border or any kind of limit. That is to say, in this world teaches about place, right? And in the places of this world, God shows that when we're talking about Israel, the Israelite has a connection above space, beyond space. This is the Holy Temple. The Holy Temple teaches about God's connection in this world and the connection that is beyond space. In the Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple, there were 10 forms of sanctity and 10 kinds of borders, one above the other. In other words, the land of Israel has one level of sanctity. There's a higher level of sanctity in the walled cities that were walled in the time of Yehoshua ben Nun, the successor of Moses. And then there's a higher level of sanctity of Jerusalem. And in Jerusalem there's another level of sanctity of the Holy Temple. In the Holy Temple there are walls within walls until finally the 10th and highest level is the Holy of Holies, where only the high priest could go in on the Day of Atonement. And there we had the Ark of the Covenant and the 2 tablets of stone and the angels on the covering of the Ark would illuminate, and the menorah outside of the Holy of Holies would illuminate light, endless light to the whole world. This is all the garments of space. That's why the Ark of the Covenant was without measure. In other words, the Ark, when you look at the measurements of the Ark and the measurements of the Holy of Holies, you see that it would be impossible to fit it in. In other words, it would take up the entire space. But we know that the high priest went in, which means that there was something going on beyond the borders of this world. It was a miraculous experience. Or maybe it wasn't miraculous, it's just God changed nature at that time and made the supernatural natural. It says in the Talmud that at the time when King Solomon built the temple, he planted all kinds of vegetation, all kinds of tasty things, made of golden, tasty things, whatever they may be, and he would sprout fruits and they would sprout fruit at their proper time, etc. And this all teaches about being above the borders, above the grasp, above the perception of this world. King Solomon knew how to do things that were supernatural, that were beyond the borders of this world. He was not a wizard, although he learned these mystic arts. But his knowledge was on a level where he could do things that would surpass the limits of nature. It's all above it. And so too with the soul. Let's look again in the 5th segment of the Tiferet Yosef for the understanding of the infinity and the limitlessness of the soul.